So, first set, weighted push-ups plus 60 pounds. Generally not going completely to failure on these. Trying to leave a little bit in the tank, but that doesn't exactly happen to plan. Because it just happens too goddamn fast. I'm going fine, and then all of a sudden, yeah, you got one of those, and then say, okay, why not? And it was a mistake. So the actual rest pause portion of this is 15 deep breaths, anywhere from 30 to 45 seconds of rest. Not really trying to keep anything to perfect count here. It doesn't actually matter. It's just take a little bit of a break and then go right into the next set with the same weight. Yeah, I'm looking at this now and may just cut out the breaths next time because this is real boring to look at. Got the pads under my knees for really two reasons. Number one, if for whatever reason I fail, I can drop down really easily. And also, kind of on the flip side, at the end of every third rest pause set, I like to actually just drop down to my knees and kind of do a little bit of a back off, just reduced range of motion. It's an easy way to squeeze out an additional 1 to 2 reps. Something I really like with weighted push-ups in general, unlike bench press, I actually feel them doing something. And the safety factor of being able to rotate my hands can't be understated. And I'm watching these reps, and it's really weird to watch versus actually... Yeah, okay. That was barely a rep. Holy crap, man. Jesus. Okay, so I feel like I'm going actually to full extension, but obviously it's not actually happening. So in between set 1 and 2, there is a full 5-minute rest period. I'm, again, not entirely strict, although I do set a timer. If it's 5 minutes, great. If it's 4, 6, whatever, I usually just break out Duolingo and do a quick Spanish lesson or some crap, however long that takes me. Yeah, beyond that, so we drop down to 40 pounds for this next set, and honestly, I don't really think it was enough of a drop. I was kind of hoping to get at least 1 or 2 reps increase here in this set, and that didn't actually happen. Could have been because of a bunch of things. One, my diet's been crap, my sleep's been crap, and work has kind of been a little bit stressful this week, so I may have kind of blown my load on that first set. At the end of the day, it's not about getting a certain target volume, regardless of how well I do, unless I'm getting under 5 reps on a single set, I'm gonna increase the weight after a week and a half. The goal is not to continually get this weight up and up forever and ever. It's to take this as far as I can, get as many quality reps in as I can over 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then switch out the movement. I've already been on push-ups for 3-4 weeks right now, so it's not something I really want to stay with that much longer. I can definitely feel it getting a little stale, both from the perspective of I'm just getting bored, but also kind of the movement itself, no matter how much weight I'm using, starts to feel a little bit more junky. My shoulders feel fine. It's just kind of a preemptive soreness more than anything else, and honestly, once I'm done with this, I'll welcome the change. Alright, so this is set 3, and obviously feeling a whole lot lighter here. This is 20 pounds on the weight vest. I don't know why it's such a dramatic difference, just going from 60 to 40, then 40 to 20, but this one I felt like I was rocketing out, even though if I'm looking at it now, it really doesn't look like that much of a total difference. Yeah, in terms of rest periods between the rest pause, there really isn't a difference between the 40, the 60, or the 20. I'm generally going for the same rest. My hope is for this light one to pump out as many reps as humanly possible. Kind of backing up to the knees thing, I I notice I'm kind of like hinging at the hips and leaning down. That's not on purpose. That's just fatigue. I don't really have a rhyme or reason behind that. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't feel good. It's just kind of the position I find myself in at the end of the set. And if you see me smiling, so that goddamn strap keeps on tickling my hand while I'm doing push-ups. It's really kind of annoying, actually. Alright, so onto the actual final rest pause. Yeah, barely get one here, dropping down to my knees for a final set. And beyond that, especially on the light 1 to 20 pounder, yeah, just rip off the weight vest as soon as I can. Check out that fucking belly. And dropping down to just body weight. Get some extra volume in, and by this point, like, I'm super fatigued from doing the heavier sets, so it feels great for about a second, and then just the fatigue sets in. And as soon as that's over, remove everything and do an even easier version, which is just, stable bodyweight push-ups on the ground. I don't remember if I even pump out anything in terms of like knee push-ups after that. Yeah, I can barely do jack shit. Oh, and there's that hip hinge. I don't know what I'm doing. Little kiss the floor or whatever. Alright, so this is same day, a little bit later in the day. The entire idea is I didn't really like doing heavy pulls and heavy pushes in the same session. I just prefer to do push-ups, a little bit of accessory, which I didn't feel like cutting and editing, because who the hell wants to see me do just, I don't know, band pushdowns. I may add that in the future, but this video is already long enough. Essentially what this boils down to is I kind of got overdoing weighted pull-ups as well, at least for now. Just body weight stuff feels good. I'm too weak to really justify adding a lot of weight. I may add stuff once I start getting up in the 20 rep range of pull-ups, or I can just kind of alter myself to a different movement. But other than that, just essentially whenever I get a break from work, I'm doing one of these giant sets, which take anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes apiece, and slowly make my way to easier and easier variations of bodyweight pulls. Definitely finding by the end of this particular, like my chest and my shoulders feel fine from the actual heavy work on push-ups, even though I'm actively unable to do something like that for the next 2 days. But my back from this volume is sore as fuck, man. It doesn't look like a lot, but it's, we're putting anywhere from 30 to 50 reps per little giant set, and I'm trying to get as many of these a day as possible with, at least 30-45 minutes in between each one. Just depending on how busy work is, I'll get it done. You'll notice I'm wearing those BFR bands. Oh, I didn't cut this yet, did I? That was a mistake. Yeah, so I don't know about the BFR bands, man. Like, it's a gimmick. I don't know anybody big that actually uses them. I mean, it's one of those things you typically see more on fitness magazines, with a dude screaming doing leg presses with 15,000 veins full of tren sticking out of his head. I don't know. I mean, maybe it works. I like the pump. I think it's great. I'm not really losing anything by doing it, so I'm just gonna keep it up for maybe a month or two and see where this gets me. I'm definitely noticing over these giant sets, over the course of the last couple weeks, I'm increasing a couple reps consistently per set per movement. So I'm not really too concerned about performance overall. This thing I'm doing right now, the whole like rack chin, this is new. Trying to find like an alternate way to really arch your back into, I guess like a secondary vertical pull that's easier than chin-ups. I may scrap that and use something akin to like a band pull-up instead, just because the rack version, or at least how I'm doing it, doesn't really feel that natural, and instead I can just go right into inverted rows, which, I mean, you saw what happened there. Whenever pulling the row itself, by the time I get there, I've got maybe like 2 or 3 reps in me, where if I didn't do the rack piece, it's anywhere from like 10 to 12. So I don't know. I think I might be cutting myself short with a little bit of useful volume there. This thing I'm doing right now, okay, well, I like the curls, but the 2-hand row feels, I don't know, a little too weak to be useful. There's just not a lot of resistance. The 1-arm version is fantastic, but the 2-arm, even though I am fatigued, I don't really feel it doing a lot. I don't know if next time I pull this out of a hat, I'm gonna stop doing the full range of motion and just do like essentially like a Kelso shrug, just shrug the shoulder blades back and see how that feels instead. Oh yeah, I remember doing this. That was real dumb. Yeah, so that little sidebar was Aaron trying to do a row with his legs up in the air. I don't know if I saw like a YouTube video of some dude doing that and said, yeah, that looks easy, I can do that, and got myself up in the position, and immediately, from either being too tired or just too weak or too uncoordinated, couldn't do any of that. So I don't know if that's a first pull instead of like 5th in the day or something, but that was not gonna happen. So yeah, I did notice in this workout and also subsequent workouts that this 1-arm row is money. I really like almost like turning into it a little bit. It looks like crappy form, but it actually gets you into a much deeper contraction. I gotta move my shit. My garage gym is just kind of a cavalcade of a mess right now. See me experimenting with a couple different things. In this case, I'm doing bar curls instead of doing bar rows. So the only problem with doing these giant sets, and I don't think it's even the giant set's fault, it's just the fact that those pull-ups, I'm using plastic rings. Usually by like set 5 for the day, my hands are kind of shot. So even anything I'm trying to do after that, like, I'm just, it's really hard to grip it. Yeah, you'll notice that I kind of scrapped the rack chins on that last set and just went right to rows. Felt a whole lot better. Oh man, I don't know. I've got such a love-hate relationship with weighted pulls in general. It was my bread and butter for years and years, like weighted pull-ups. I wouldn't do jack shit that was good for me except for like squats, dips, and weighted chin-ups. And I loved weighted chins, man. Like God damn it, I don't know. Before, and granted, I'm not talking about on rings. I'm talking about actually on a bar itself. And looking back, I question how good my form actually was on that, but I was pulling, 90 pounds around my waist for sets of 3, 4, 5. And it just never felt right on rings. I don't know what it is. The problem has to be me, but it just doesn't feel right yet. Conversely, doing stuff like weighted rows, like inverted rows, or the rows I'm doing right now, feel pretty fantastic. But if I want to do something like that, then, chins are kind of going to go by the wayside, at least temporarily. So this is my last set of the day. You notice I'm not really counting reps. Again, I'm trying to go from failure -1. I generally try to look at pull-ups as the barometer for success. Like, are my reps generally going up week to week? And so far, the answer's been yes, but not by a lot, which is also fine. I'm looking for myself to just get somewhere in the vicinity of being able to do a 20-rep pull-up. So I'm looking at 2 things. 1, okay, I'm a little less fat than I used to be. And number 2, I feel comfortable going to a more difficult variation, like a banded assisted 1-arm pull-up, where I know it's going to bring my reps way down. I mean, right now I can do maybe, what, 4 tops? Yeah, at this point I'm just burnt, man. I don't know. So, good workout all together. I really like this kind of full day workout. I mean, if we're talking about filming times, this is probably anywhere. Started at 6:30 in the morning, and this last set was, I don't know, probably around 5:30 in the evening. So, spaced out pretty well. Not trying to accumulate any fatigue in a conjoined area of time except for those push-ups. So, that is about it. That'll do her.